Welcome, welcome, welcome to our rally celebrating the success of the second reading, referring the bill to committee and moving it along on a fast track as fast as humanly possible. We want a holiday gift. That's what we're waiting for. And what we mean by that is not that the benefit is a gift, but that we can do this fast, okay? My name is Rabia Khidr. I'm the National Director of Disability Without Poverty, and I'd like to acknowledge all our partners out there, March of Dimes, Canadian Labour Congress, Community Food Centres of Canada, etc., etc., etc. Our members of our leadership team who will be recognized throughout. We have Andrea, we have Bill, we have Claire and Michelle here who will introduce themselves a little bit more. We have our fabulous interpreter, Ebony. We have Sabrina and Amy who are doing extraordinary work in the background. We have Shelby, and you'll meet everybody throughout the journey this afternoon. But I'd also like to recognize the support of Human Concern International, HCI. They have brought some meals, so please, if it's lunchtime, okay, if anybody's really, really hungry and would like some free food, please see Ahmed. Ahmed, where are you? Ahmed's right there, and he has some meals, limited number of meals to give out. So if you're hungry and want some good food, there you go. All right, so I am going to hand it over to my super duper chair of DWP, Disability Without Poverty, Michelle Hewitt. She's right here.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd just like to recognize those people who've traveled a distance to be here, like Jeff, who's come from BC, and Margaux, who's come from BC, and Quinn over here, who's come from northern Saskatchewan, and my friend Matt, who's out there somewhere, who came with me as my attendant, also from BC, from the beautiful province of BC that we will tell you all about. My job right now, though, is to thank you all for being here, but also to give our land acknowledgement. We are located on the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. My apologies if I made a mess of that because I'm from BC. The Algonquin people have inhabited and cared for these lands long before today. We take this time to show our gratitude and respect to them and to the land for all that it provides us, trees to give shade, water and food to sustain us, and paths, most importantly, to connect us. Thank you all for being here today.
Now it is my privilege and honor to introduce our minister, who also happens to be a member of our community, our disability community, Minister Carla Qualtrough, who will present some remarks and do some acknowledgements. But first off, again, we're saying pass C22. Yes, pass C22 in 2022. I'd also like to acknowledge our fabulous photographer, videographer, Mamoon. If I've missed any, I heard my husband in the crowd. I'm his side hustle, so he's here to help out. But over to Minister Qualtrough, who is one of us. Nothing about us without us.
Thank you all for being here on such a beautiful day, but also a historic day. Yesterday in the House of Commons, we witnessed what can only be described as the best of what we can do as parliamentarians. Every single party supported moving, second reading, moving C22 onto committee. And what we're telling you, what Benita and John and everybody else who I can't see, but they're all really important people, what we're telling you is that you matter to us. And for far too long, people with disabilities in this country have been living in poverty. And it's time to fix that. It's overtime to fix that. It's well overdue. What we are doing with the Canada Disability Benefit is fundamentally changing the social program landscape in this country. When Lester Pearson stood up in the House of Commons and said no senior should live in poverty, when Justin Trudeau stood up and said no child should live in poverty, but what we're saying is no person with disability should live in poverty in this country. That's the stakes here. That's what we're doing, and I know we're not doing it fast enough, and I know we should be doing it quicker, and we're trying. But I can tell you at the end of the day, there is no one more committed to this than me, and I'm so blessed to have a partner in the NDP, in Benita Zarrillo. I have a partner in the Green Party, in Mike Morris. We have partners in the Bloc. We have partners in the Conservative Party. We all want this. You have waited far too long. You deserve way more than this, but this is a really good first step. And I will reiterate our commitment as a government to get this through as quickly as possible, to give you what is long overdue, not a handout, but a recognition of your full rights of equality and citizenship in this country. So thank you very much.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce MP Benita Zarrillo, who is also the NDP critic for disability issues. MP Zarrillo has been a tremendous champion and available to us and accessible to us to engage in conversation, to learn and share perspectives and come to a common space and recognize the fact that it is nothing about us without us. We are an integral part of the solution. We want to co-create the future of this benefit, and we believe that we can do it together in our democracy that gives us those rights and responsibilities as its citizens. So over to MP Benita Zarrillo, whose support we couldn't do without in this process.
I'm going to start today by saying thank you to all of you, and thank you to Michelle for the land acknowledgement. It's so wonderful to be together on this territory with all of you today. So it's a lot of hard work. I want to thank all of you for the work that we've done, and today I just want to do a bit of a celebratory stop, and let's look at this moment. So I'm going to start by thanking all of you for coming out, and all of the grassroots work that you've done, Arabia and Michelle, that have organized through COVID so much and made so many relationships. You have shown us the way of how to bring people together. You have influenced parties and politics to get people to come together around a common cause that we all want, which is to reduce poverty in Canada. That's where we're going. I want to also say thank you to Minister Qualtrough for her leadership and the leadership in her office. She is again showing us how we can get things done by working together, to have conversations with each other, to share our views, to share our stories. So again, I just want to thank all of you. I want to take this moment to say this is the way we should be doing politics in this country, and I just appreciate all of you, and I appreciate the minister for this, and everybody. So thank you so much for this, and I'll see you out there on the trail. We are going to reduce poverty in this country, and Carla says it's historic. This is the moment where we are going to legislate folks out of poverty. Thanks.
I get to introduce MP Mike Morris. He has been a brother to us. He has been with us step by step. That parliamentary petition I talked about, Mike was the authorizer of it, and we have worked together and talked. And yesterday, as that vote happened, there was a kind of amazing thing happened. The first person to vote was Carla, and the last person to vote was Mike. It was at one end to the other. We had this covered. And it really, to me, showed this. I know we often say bipartisan, non-partisan, multi-partisanship. It really showed me, any of the people here that were with me, I lost it completely once everybody started to stand up, and I just blotted my eyes out all the way through it. So I really appreciate that we live in a parliamentary democracy. You can tell by my accent I'm English. And so I've lived in 2 parliamentary democracies, and I would never want to, live under any other system. And so from Carla to Mike, from one end of the voter to the other yesterday, I appreciate everything that was in between, and I appreciate Mike and I felt we've grown with him in his first term as an MP. We've learned together, and I appreciate it so much. So
thank you so much, Michelle. Being on this journey with you is a real honor. First of all, wow, is it ever nice to see you all this afternoon. I think MP Zarrillo said it so well. We need to take moments like this because you all know better than most that the journey is long. And there are ups and downs, but this week is a milestone, this week is an up, and this week is yours. And so thanks for making time to be with us to celebrate what you've all brought to life, this milestone, to see unanimous support for the Canada Disability Benefit. I think it's so important that we see parliamentarians come together for what Canadians are demanding of them. For my part, the reason I'm here is because neighbor after neighbor of mine in Kitchener shared with me what legislated poverty is like. And as a result of that, I said it's my job in this place to bring their voices here. It's why when Michelle reached out, it was so obvious. But what's happened as a result? Governments make a lot of promises about future actions. If you rewind to a year ago, that's where we stood. There was a promise for the possibility of this benefit. And people across the country rallied to ensure that their parliamentarians, those that are representing them in this place, heard that you all expect for that promise to be brought to life. And that's why, whether it's 18,000 people signing on to a petition or open letters from political parties, again, MP Zarillo with a unanimous consent motion back in the spring where everyone said, let's just get on with getting this done. All of which gives the minister more support at the cabinet table to ensure that this is at the very top of the priority list. And so I also want to say thank you to every MP who's with us this afternoon, to Minister Qualtrough in particular for your advocacy at the cabinet table to ensure that when priorities are discussed, that the Canada Disability Benefit is at the very top of the list. So yes, we need to end disability poverty. Yes, Canada Disability Benefit now. Yes, let's get this passed. Yes, let's continue to work. And it's only going to happen as a result of the advocacy from all of you. So thank you so, so much.
Bonjour. Merci d'être là. Éliminer la pauvreté liée au handicap, c'est une première victoire et c'est grâce à vous qui se sont mobilisés, qui ont fait valoir leurs revendications. Et nous, comme députés, moi comme député du Bloc québécois, porte-parole en matière d'inclusion des personnes en situation de handicap, c'était un honneur de vous soutenir, de supporter ce projet de loi qui a été déposé et adopté largement hier à la Chambre des communes. Bravo! Et c'est un début, parce qu'éliminer la pauvreté liée au handicap, oui, comme mesure importante, la question de la prestation canadienne pour personnes qui vivent avec un handicap, c'est important. Mais c'est aussi important de se dire que l'inclusion des personnes en situation de handicap dans nos communautés, dans notre société, de façon pleine et entière, comme des citoyennes et des citoyens pleins et entiers, c'est notre devoir. Fait qu'il y a un ensemble de mesures qu'on doit apporter à la fois pour soutenir les personnes les plus vulnérables, mais aussi pour s'assurer du vivre ensemble où chaque personne est incluse, où chaque personne a sa place. Et vous pouvez compter sur moi, sur nous, comme formation politique, pour continuer ce combat-là avec vous. Merci.
Thank you so much to our elected officials, all that are here today, that have shown support, everybody that we've been talking to for the past several days, all of you that decided to come and stand in solidarity with us, and the 328 people that voted unanimously to pass C-22 second reading. We're very, very grateful for your solidarity, and yes, let's continue doing things differently. Let's show what is possible. This was a dream for us in 2020. It's soon to become a reality, we hope. and we can only realize it together. Together. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. CDB by 23. So Michelle was going to do this, but I think she forgot, so I'm doing it. CDB by 23. Here you go.
Don't steal my lines. I got the land acknowledgement. I didn't think it was quite appropriate to start a chant. Right? Yes. Are we ready? CDB
By 23.
CDB
By 23.
There you go.
I'm Shelby Marie Daigle from Ottawa, and it's been really, again, one of the best things about being involved with this has been meeting so many people from other provinces. And I have the pleasure of introducing the artist for today, who's also a friend, King Kibbet. She's a local literary hip-hop artist from here in Ottawa. She's also from the Vietnamese diaspora, and she'll be sharing a poem with you.
Greetings, everyone. I'm honored to be here, and I'm happy you're here too. This is called Patience, Understanding. It was co-written with Joanne Bryant. Patience, understanding. I'm born into a body that looks what they would call normal. It helps me get through a world filled with able-looking bodies at the forefront of the game plan. I am grateful to be able to tread that challenge unscathed, but what about the people who aren't so lucky in this lottery? Do I win the race that's made up of claims that scarcity is the reason we can justify taking from each other, knowingly or not? I am overcoming disabilities I don't look like I have by first acknowledging they exist. And then instead of seeing something to be fixed, I embrace the beauty I get to work with. Despite being ignored and dismissed by those too far ahead of the game, too focused on what they have to gain, to notice they need us on the bottom for them to even have a top to stay on. Their success is dependent on my inconsistencies. They wish for me to stay down. They exist too, and that is inevitable. But what I can do is focus my time and energy on the ones who give me support, are patient, and trying to understand, even though they may never. It is love that drives them to try, and I can support. Be patient with and try to understand myself as well as anyone else who might be dealing with other people's ideas of disadvantage. Just like me, we need understanding, patience. Thank you.
Hey there, I come before you as a woman with MS. A woman who has had MS for 14 years, that went from being a school principal on a Monday to never walking again by Thursday. There are a lot of people with MS that do not have the privilege that I bring to this. And alongside us as our allies, the MS Society has walked alongside us at DWP, and I am so proud that I got to both meet but now introduce Alana, who is our manager of government relations, if I remember it right, and somebody that I also work closely with when I'm not here. So my grateful appreciations now go to the MS Society and Alana.
Thanks everyone for having me, and thanks Michelle. I love working with you, and I'm honored to speak today on behalf of the MS Society. And I'm especially glad to be here this week after we saw the unanimous passage of C-22 yesterday at second reading. Income security is a top priority for the 90,000 Canadians who live with MS here in Canada, and we hear from our community almost every day about the struggles that they face to make ends meet. And it's only gotten worse during the pandemic. People are feeling the rising costs of living each and every day. We know that paying for housing, services, equipment, transportation, and treatments are a significant economic burden for people with MS. And we believe that when MS stops someone from working, they should be able to access adequate income and disability support. Imagine choosing between paying for MS treatments that you know will help with your symptoms or paying for rent or for your groceries. This is not a choice that any Canadian should have to make, but it's sadly the reality for many Canadians who live with MS. So we need to ensure that the Canada Disability Benefit is inclusive of Canadians living with episodic disabilities like MS as defined in the Accessible Canada Act. And we also need to ensure that this benefit benefits Canadians with all types of disabilities. Having a disability shouldn't mean living in poverty. The Canada Disability Benefit would be a huge game changer for people who live with MS because poverty doesn't take a break. So the time is now to get this legislation passed. We need all MPs to prioritize this because Canadians with disabilities need this support today. So let's continue to work together to raise our collective voice and make this benefit a reality for all Canadians with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to again acknowledge the support that we've received, the resources that have been made available to us to do the work that we've been doing. We have been laser focused on the Canada Disability Benefit. It was a carrot and we hung on to it to see it grow and flourish into C22 and come forward as the legislation that will make that difference in the lives of people with disabilities. And that would not be possible without the support of the Saputo Foundation last year, the McConnell Foundation this year, the Maytree Foundation this year, many community foundations, including Calgary Foundation, Vancouver Foundation, Hamilton Foundation, Toronto Foundation, and our newest supporter and contributor who have been there to advise us and guide us, Anita, United Way Centraide Canada. Thank you for also believing in where we are at in making this bill into law and delivering a benefit next year. A benefit that Canadians with disabilities, we hope, will be a central part of co-creating and designing and implementing. So that's what we're hoping for, that's what we're aspiring for. We're dreaming big and we're gonna make that dream happen. We came this far in our dream and we couldn't have done it without our community partners. Maple Leaf Foods Foundation. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Maple Leaf Foods Foundation. We're very grateful to all the support that we have gotten and many other people who want to remain nameless. They have been an integral part of who we are. Our folks who couldn't be here today with us, Luca Patuelli, Lazy Legs, he's out there, he's with us, he's thinking of us. Guillaume Perron, who wasn't able to come down, he's thinking of us and sending us good wishes. We're very grateful for all of our team, our leadership team extraordinaire, our organizing team on the ground, Shelby, we got Janet, we have Andrea, we have Claire, Michelle, Amy, Bill's an important part of who we are. So we're very grateful. March of Dimes Canada again, Canadian Labour Congress, Community Food Centres Canada, Inclusion Canada, we want you to become even a bigger partner with us. Thank you for coming out. And if I missed anybody, you know why excuse? I'm blind. And next will be one of our leadership team members who's already spoken in French, but now she will speak about her perspective on disability poverty. Claire from Montreal.
So I came here to Ottawa to lend my voice in hopes to ask for support for Bill C-22 And yesterday, at the vote, was one of the most incredibly exciting things to witness. We are one step closer today. As a person with disabilities and living with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, I know firsthand how difficult it is to manage my day-to-day living and also finances. I don't know what it's like to not live with a disability, but what I do know is that the desire for everyone is one and the same. I want to live well. I want to have experiences. And I want to pursue my goals and dreams. Today, there is 1.4 million Canadians with disabilities living in poverty, and that's 1.4 million reasons for me to fast-track this bill. All people deserve the chance to meet their basic needs, pursue their dreams, and participate fully in society. My name is Claire. Despite all my disabilities and cancer, I am actually fortunate to not experience living in poverty. But I know what it's like to not be able to meet my basic needs, even if I earn an income. I know what it's like to have to lean on others, both friends and strangers, to get by, and to make less than ideal choices for food and shelter in order to meet my paramedical requirements. This is my reality today, and tomorrow there are no guarantees. Circumstances can change for anyone and for me, and that's why I'm here today. 1.4 million reasons and growing. Why we need to ensure that the Canadian Disability Benefit is available as soon as possible, because we all deserve a chance to live well. I know that we are powerful, and together with support, we will enrich society. Thank you so much.
One of the absolute pleasures of coming here these 3 days, I think you heard mentioned earlier that we've done this virtually as Disability Without Poverty. So it's been an absolute pleasure for me to actually meet Rabia face to face, and to be with Claire and Ebony and Andrea and everybody that I see here. On top of that though, it's also been wonderful to make new friends like Jeff, who's right here out front with us. And I now get to introduce to you Quinn Smith-Windsor, who I have begun to learn is such an incredible woman. Please check out her website, possibilityshop.com. And she designs the most amazing clothes and paintings. So it is my absolute pleasure from Northern Saskatchewan to introduce to you Quinn Smith-Windsor.
Hello, my name is Quinn. Hello, my name is Quinn. I'm an artist, an entrepreneur, and an advocate. I am the founder of my own business in Saskatchewan. I came here to have my voice heard, to end disability poverty. It shouldn't be so hard for people with disabilities to do ordinary things like buy groceries, go to school, and get around. The fact that this bill was passed gives me hope. It's important to be here, to be part of history. I'm ready to take the next step. There is still a lot of work to do. I want to be able to work and go to school and provide for myself. I think this is a great opportunity to fix the holes in the system. Today I'm so happy that we have been heard.
Yes.
I'm proud to be here today. Thank you.
And we're here to get our Parliament to be our champions fast-tracking the Canada Disability Benefit. Pass C-22? Yes, in 2022. All right. And fast-track the Canada Disability Benefit by 2023. Deliver it by 2023. That's what we want. We want people no longer to live in poverty. Now it is my pleasure to also introduce, now this is a blind woman communicating with a deaf woman, okay? It is my honor and privilege to introduce my deaf sister from Brampton, Ontario, who's a part of our leadership, who's a part of our Ontario organizers, Andrea Zachary, super mom, super deaf woman, superwoman who reaches out to the broader deaf community, and I know that there's somebody here also from the Canadian Association of the Deaf, so thank you very much. Andrea.
Hello everyone, hello, and thank you for all coming today. I really appreciate you, everyone out here. My name is Andrea Zachary, and this is my sign name, so this is how we indicate people in the deaf community. I'm so happy that everyone can be here because I know Rabia picked me to show my support for my community, and I'm so proud to do that. And I have many different hats that I wear. I'm a business owner, I'm a mother, I'm a community advocate, so I'm so proud of myself and happy to be here. I know yesterday was just so emotional for me to watch because seeing the government pass that bill and that unanimous vote, so it was just so nice to see that we can make change when we want to. And so today, I'm just so inspired to be here. My experience living in poverty, because I'm deaf, I'm also Black, I'm also a woman, so I've experienced many versions of oppression and marginalization. But with you guys and your support in this bill and seeing the government watch us and listen to us, it gives me a better chance to give my children a better future. So I just want to thank you all. Also, my husband and I are both deaf, we both work, and we're still living in poverty. So that's why things need to change today. And I want to see in the future, I don't want to see any people living with disabilities having to lag behind. I want everyone to be equal. So I want to see this bill passed in 2021 by 2023. We have to make more noise, so thank you again.
Another of the people that of our leadership team that I get to introduce and that I only just got to meet is the wonderful Janet Rodriguez. We started conversations about anti-ableism and what that means to us all. And it's really important to me that we continue these conversations from coast to coast. And I know that Janet is such a partner in those worlds, in the worlds that she does in the medical community, talking to people. And I'm so proud that she's here today, as part of our team, and to talk to you.
I identify also as an immigrant, racialized, cisgender woman. So yes, I live with visible and invisible disabilities, but the few privileges that I have, that I can speak both official languages of this country, makes me responsible to speak out and speak up at every opportunity, not just about women like me, or not just about disabled women like me, not just about disabled women who are racialized like me, but to everyone who is human, because these issues are about human rights. I have been privileged to learn from many in the community of disabilities, especially the Ethno-Racialized Disability Coalition of Ontario, where I volunteer. And also I've learned from other sister organizations. So it is now my privilege to introduce Andrea Hatala, who is the co-chair of the ODSP Action Coalition.
I am from the ODSP Action Coalition, and we are a grassroots organization all over Ontario, and our job is to advocate for clients of ODSP, and we have been around for a while, and we are around, because we noticed that that ODSP wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, and it's a very punitive system. And so that's why I'm glad that there is a Canadian disability benefit, because hopefully it won't be as punitive. And yeah, all right, go ahead. So the benefit represents hope for people with disabilities, and hope that we will be able to afford to live more dignified lives. And hope that we will be able to pay our rent and our bills and still have enough money for food and other essentials. And yay! And hope that that we can do things that were not economically available to us before the benefit came to pass. And it may allow us to dream rather than being stuck in the poverty like malaise. And so what will we be able to accomplish? How will we improve our lives? Society is enriched when it allows people to accomplish things and to live with dignity. And when it allows people to thrive. So I'm calling on all of our MPs in the House of Commons to pass the bill fully, and I'm calling on people to design the benefit afterwards and implement it, and I'm calling on the Senate to give it their blessing as well, so that together we can all thrive. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to thank you all for sticking with us as this weather turns to get a little bit brisk. And along with that, I would like to also thank Sean and Tara from PAA, who are holding on to the signs out the front here. And I'm kind of worried that they're going to take off. Their own version of up might happen sometime soon. So I'd like to thank them. However, I now get to introduce somebody else who came out here from BC, Margaux. They are the Regional Director of BC People First. They are a business owner, and I have seen many wonderful shots, but today got my first pins from their store. So I am very proud to be able to introduce somebody else all the way from BC.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's an absolute honor. I'm Margaux Wask. I live in Vancouver, and I'm the Lower Mainland West Regional Director for BC People First, which is under the umbrella of People First of Canada. I am an autistic person and an entrepreneur specializing in disability pride, merchandise, communication pins, and things to help people communicate and express themselves and be proud of who they are. My artist pseudonym is Retrophiliac, and I am very pleased to have the opportunity to have given some of you Nothing About Us Without Us pins and disability flag pins. So thank you for being so receptive to those designs. And being a disabled person, we've been asking for equity in every stage of our lives, not just me, but so many of us. Sometimes a choice has to be made. Are we going to choose rent, or are we going to choose food, clothes, or medication? Many disabled Canadians feel they are burdening the system and that they can't sustain a dignified life. They are so desperate for the bare minimum, and we are frankly tired of waiting. When will we start to matter? Because our costs are constantly rising, our inflation is out of control, and many of us just feel hopeless. Some of us are underemployed or unemployed due to no fault of our own. Wages and provincial PWD is not enough. Accessing medical care is challenging, and oftentimes we are met with long waits and many treatments and medications are not covered, which is another expense that has to come out of our inadequate monthly support. Currently, individuals on PWD in BC receive $375 for shelter costs, which is a strong message from the government that disabled people are not valued as humans and are expected to live in unsafe, uncomfortable, or unsuitable environments. This is unjust and undignified. The average rent for a one-bedroom in Vancouver is $2,000. This should not be a luxury. To quote Spencer Van Vloten with BC Disability, a year's income at 2022 BC PWD rates for single persons is roughly $16,300. The poverty rate for Canada is approximately $26,000 for a single person. Why must disabled people be treated in such a shameful way? Why are we not a priority? Why does it feel like we're being swept under the rug? The monthly Canada Emergency Response Benefit during the peak of COVID was based on the minimum living standards that was assessed at $2,000, almost $700 more than the monthly disability rate for a single person on provincial assistance. That doesn't make any sense. Disabled people have higher living costs than non-disabled people, and this is not frivolous or luxurious. As a result, we face more hardships, including poverty, houselessness, debt, not being able to afford medication or treatment, not being able to afford food, and increased mental health issues. We don't want to rely on food banks, charities, or other handouts. As grateful as many of us are for those services, we want to live without humiliation or shame. We want to be able to support ourselves. We do not want to be stereotyped as drains on the system. We shouldn't feel ashamed or like we are a burden for asking for the bare minimum to survive. We are asking for the resources to support ourselves. How much longer are we going to have to wait? Pass Bill C-22 and watch the disability community rise out of poverty and be able to really show how valuable we are to society, how we want to show up, how we deserve the right to a comfortable life just like everyone else. Do the right thing. Don't let us fall through the cracks. Pass Bill C-22 now. Thank you.
Okay, it is my pleasure now to introduce Anita Khanna, the Government Relations Manager or Director for United Way Centraide, based here in Ottawa. We tremendously appreciate their support and their commitment to our cause, making it possible for us to do the work that we do. So over to Anita.
Hi everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to join you today on unceded, unsurrendered Anishinaabe Algonquin territory. I'm here to show United Way Centraide Canada's deep respect and support for disability without poverty, and because we too want to see the Canada Disability Benefit implemented as soon as possible. So what was the chant? Pass the CDB. Oh, I got it wrong, but you know what we want. So our movement thanks Disability Without Poverty for its leadership, cross-Canada collaboration, and work with all parties in the House of Commons to get us closer to making the Canada Disability Benefit a reality. Let's hear it for Disability Without Poverty. Let's hear it for the support that we saw in the House of Commons to move the Canada Disability Benefit forward to committee. Now let's keep going to ensure that the bill passes by the end of the year, the end of 22, that was the chant, and get that crucial income support to people with disabilities to lift them all out of poverty. We, in our local United Way Centraide Canada network, work every day in over 5,000 communities to end poverty and create opportunities for everyone to meet their full potential. We partner with organizations like many of yours across the country to build those opportunities for people with disabilities so that they can connect, access support, pursue education, training, and jobs, and also build community. And it is this example of Disability Without Poverty that shows why community building is so important. This is an example of the power of community and the importance of collaboration. Without a doubt, Disability Without Poverty's model of work by people with disabilities, for people with disabilities, has been so critical to the success so far. To help make the Canada Disability Benefit a success, we need people with lived or living experience of disability poverty to be part of co-designing the benefit, and to make sure that it's implemented in a way so that it reaches the people who need it, it eradicates poverty, and is the game changer that it's meant to be. Hats off again to Disability Without Poverty and all of you here today for being focused and determined to ensure that living with a disability is not a sentence to poverty. The Canada Disability Benefit will rewrite history, and with continued collaboration across parties, the community sector with economists and policymakers, and of course co-designed by people who are living disability poverty, it will be the game changer we want it to be. My deep thanks to all of you. Please know that this country will be stronger and more fair because you're here today and because you are refusing to settle for anything other than victory in the fight against disability poverty.
Okay, thank you, Mike, Maurice. We couldn't have gotten where we have without everybody involved, everybody. And there's so many more people behind us who are involved, who are supporting what we're doing. There are organizations and networks that Michelle and I are a part of and others are a part of. Janet and I are a part of Race and Disability Canada, and I'm a part of Dean Support Services. And so we brought all sorts of communities together to collaborate and cooperate to bring us forward to this point. But again, the leadership rests with people with disabilities like Michelle Hewitt, like Claire, like Andrea, like all of us here who have disabilities. Truly, nothing about us without us. Nothing about us without us. That's what it's about, and that's where we're gonna keep going. That's the message. Work with us to the finish line of delivering the Canada Disability Benefit by next fall to people with disabilities living in poverty. 41% of them. We need to get this benefit to them. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to our PAA team who have taken care of a lot of stuff for us. Thank you to Nagaba Media. I never get the Nagaba. Okay, I don't know where he is, but Mamoon, okay, I always mess it up. It's a tree apparently in Sudan or something, okay, that he wishes grew here so it wasn't this cold. Anyway, Mamoon Films, he's been with us for the past 3 days. Thank you so much. You know, again, our team, I don't want to rename everybody, but you know who you are. It really warms our hearts. You heard Claire speak. She is immune compromised and she's been here the last 3 days. Michelle is immune compromised and she's been here the last 3 days. You know that we are living, eating, breathing this cause because we believe in it with our whole heart and soul. And we're going to see this through. There's an article in the Hill Times, and I talk about a guy in that article that I met in a parking lot that asked me to buy him food. And I bought him food, and I said, have you heard about the Canada Disability Benefit? He said, yeah, I heard something, but is it really going to happen? And I said, I promise you it's going to happen. And I keep my promises. Okay, so we got to make this happen, guys, all together. This is democracy in action. This is community in action. This is nothing about us without us, Michelle.
So 7 weeks ago, a woman said to me, hey Michelle, we need to go to Ottawa. That woman would be Rabia Hada, who is the person who has made us come out here today and has made us all freeze. No, my heartfelt thanks go to this woman who, if you don't know her, you need to get to know her. She is the most incredible advocate you can ever meet. She will tell people straight every day of the week. So my mother told me that 55 years ago, I sat on these lawns and I crawled, and she had a pushchair, and I said, well, I guess I'm back here now, and it's not very much different, because I would have to crawl to get on the lawn, and I have my own type of pushchair. And I guess I say to our politicians, please do not bring me back here again. It's bloody freezing. It's so windy, we don't need to do this. No, we can do this through our advocacy online. We can tell people from our homes, from our communities, from getting out locally, what it means to be disabled, why it is nothing about us without us, why we celebrated yesterday, but we begin the hard work today. My final thanks, though, go to 3 people in our backroom team at DWP. The incredible Ebony, who is here next to us and is so much part of our family now and is here as Andrea's voice. And Amy, who, I don't know where she is, over there. Amy, who if you're on social media and you talk to us, you talk to Amy. And then somewhere here is the incredible Sabrina. She's there with Amy, of course, they're always together. And they have worked so damn hard. Rabia and I would not be stood here without them. Oh, I'm sat down, but you're stood. Anyway, CDB by
23.
23. I will not see you all back here, but I swear if it doesn't happen, I will be back. And every one of those people who was stood up and voted for it yesterday, I am going to be looking them in the eyes and saying, where is our CDB by
23.
Get warm, travel safely. Much love to you all from all of us at DWP, whoever that was I was about to say. DWP, and we will see you online in our webinars, through our newsletters, and every other way you can stay in touch. Take care, and best wishes to you and your families.
Thank you.